I'm Colleen and this is my sister Rachel Ballinger and she's a vegan. So today we're having a vegan, well, just explaining why it's vegan food.
Okay, also because it's just really good. You like this, you eat
yeah,
this
I love
me.
this place. This place is really good. I don't only eat it when Rachel's here, I eat it all the time. This place is really good. They make really bomb vegan food. So we're gonna eat a bunch of vegan food. Flynn is already digging in. He's been, come here. Can you show them how full your mouth is? Come here. I showed them how full your mouth is. This is my son Flynn. And we're having a mukbang, a little mukbang yumminess of vegan food. And we're gonna spill the tea. I've been wanting to do this mukbang for a very long time.
We have tea?
Yes, we're gonna talk about how you used to work for me.
Oh!
And you don't anymore, and you haven't for years. But the reason why she doesn't is drama.
Yeah, but not between us.
No, but like there was big drama.
There was big drama.
And I don't think we've ever talked about it
It wasn't
online.
really drama. I just was like, I snapped, put someone in their place, and then quit.
It was drama. She quit. And it wasn't drama between us in the sense that like we didn't get in a fight, but it was drama in the sense that I got a text from her that said, I'm not doing this ever again, I quit.
And then continued to do it for 6 months.
Did you? I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but I wanted to talk about it because I thought it would be an interesting story. And I wanted Rachel to be here because I love her and it's an excuse to make her eat dinner with me and an excuse to eat delicious food. So what we're eating, before we get into the tea, is vegan nachos. And they're so good. So I use jackfruit for the meat. And it is, oh my gosh, these are like my favorite nachos and there's no meat on them. Like, I don't know if it'll focus on that, but like basically it's incredible. Like,
Jackfruit is a weird fruit that when you tear it apart, it looks like pulled pork. And then it will suck up whatever flavor you soak it in, you marinate it in.
so good.
So it can just taste like barbecue pork if you marinate it right.
We're also having avocado tacos and potato tacos, because you like the potato ones.
They're really good.
Flynn has never eaten so many French fries in his life. You just are gonna turn into a big potato tonight, buddy. Come here. So, we're also having, where'd you go? Rachel brought her own vegan food as well.
Because I thought she would cancel on me and it was getting really late. And so I just ordered food just in case.
And I was like, just bring it.
It's a falafel bowl.
And we also have cauliflower, fried cauliflower that you like. They're supposed to be like buffalo wings. You're supposed to dip it in like this sauce or something, but
they're good, but they're not buffalo wings.
No, but they're so good. And I also have the Caesar salad, but it's over there.
I'm gonna take home whatever we don't eat, just so you know.
We're not gonna eat a lot of it. So the Caesar salad at this place is my favorite Caesar salad ever.
Oh, it's, yes, ever. It's so delicious. Do you remember going,
Eric's coming in. They can't see you.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Remember we'd go on tour and we'd order Caesar salads from like room service and they would bring a head of lettuce, a sardine, and then like this sauce on the side. I don't understand why they would do that ever.
Okay. Flynn has a new thing that he does. He says, okay. But he says it after he asks you something.
Is this yours?
Yeah, that one's mine. So here's what he does. It's like this morning he goes, doo-doo duck? No, that sounds weird. We have a duck that has cookies in it.
Oh.
And he calls cookies doo-doo for some reason. We still don't know why, but he does. So he calls cookies doo-doo. And so since there's cookies in the duck, he says doo-doo duck if he wants a cookie from the duck. So this morning he said, Mama, doo-doo duck? I said, oh, you want to go the doo-doo duck? And he goes, okay. So he says it after he has requested something. You repeat the question, then he says it like, oh, if I must.
It makes you feel
so
stupid.
Funny. It's this new thing. Okay.
All right, if you want to, Mom.
If you insist, I guess I'll eat a cookie. So, what, baby? Mama's chair is right here. That's baby's chair over there. Do you want to come sit with Mama? Yeah. Okay, so Rachel and I used to tour together. So I used to tour alone at the beginning of my career, and it was lonely and really hard. Yeah, and I remember sitting in the hotel lobby lobby of a hotel in Canada somewhere, in the middle of Canada. I'd never been there before. It was like -7 degrees.
I don't think I know the story.
My phone didn't work there because I couldn't afford to pay for like international phone stuff.
We didn't have out of state stuff.
And I was alone, and I was there for like a few days because I had a couple shows there. And I just remember sitting in the lobby alone, eating a steak sandwich.
It sounds good.
It was very good.
Good.
And I was like near tears because I was like, this is too lonely. I can't do this life. Like, it's too lonely.
That's how I felt on book tour. I did a book tour by myself. It's so lonely to travel.
And so I love touring, I love performing, but I was like, I can't do this alone anymore. It's too hard. And so then
I was just out of college and had been denied from the LAPD. Don't worry, not on that path
that's
of
a
life
whole
anymore.
other story.
I'm a different person.
Well, no, you're not a different person in the sense that the reason you wanted to do it is because you wanted to help people.
Yeah, I didn't know about anything.
You wanted to help people, you wanted to make a difference, and you love rules and structure and law, like, and you just liked helping people. So it was when she was, 20, 21, that made sense. And then she went and she got denied.
I failed the lie detector test.
Not because you lied though.
Well, I got in a fight with a guy doing the lie detector test, but they'd ask you, how many songs have you illegally downloaded?
And back then, that's all you did.
Yeah, it's called LimeWire, and you just download songs. And I was like, I don't know. They're like, you have to give an exact answer. And I was like, I don't know, probably like 1,000. And they're like, is it exactly 1,000? I was like, I don't know. They're like, we can't continue until you give an exact number. And I was like, well, if I give you an exact number, I'll be lying because I don't actually know these. And so I just got in a huge fight with the dude. Also because he was a sexist prick that said he's never lied before in his entire life. And so I just started fighting him verbally.
Well,
so I
Rachel,
failed.
you can't fight someone verbally in a job interview.
He was lying! Okay. I also said I had issues with authority.
Well, anyway, that's a whole other story. She can tell you that in another booking.
Well, pretty much it.
She was upset though, because she really wanted to go that path. And she called me, and I was really lonely touring alone. And so I was like, hey, I can't tour alone anymore. I need help. I've started adding all these props, and I started doing like a slideshow with things on the screen. I can't do it all by myself when I'm on the stage. Do you want to come tour with me and try to help, be like an assistant? Are you coming more for more fries? He's getting more. Okay.
Yeah. Just one.
Oh, and it got a dance, guys. You missed out. The fry got a dance. Is that good?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so she started touring with me, and it was really awesome. We had so much fun. We have so many crazy stories from tour. So awful and wonderful. Flynn, that is not a wise decision. He's about to knock off all the food on this table.
So this was back in the day when you were just doing 200 to 400 seat comedy theaters.
No, it was wonderful because we had so much fun as sisters. That's, I feel where we became best friends.
Yeah.
Because we've always been close and friends, whatever, but we became best friends because we toured together, planes and car rides, and
We had to share beds.
because we get hotel rooms with one bed, and it was just super fun.
Don't lick the
I don't know if you guys heard that, but my husband just told my son, don't lick the floor. Whoa. Okay, so we were touring together. Things were great, but also not great because we were having so much fun. We were getting along great. We were loving, we always made okay, we have to try the food of each location. So if we're in Philadelphia, we had to have a Philly cheesesteak.
We were, at that point, renting a car and traveling around by ourselves.
Yeah, so how it used to work is I would go to do a show in New York, rent a car, and we'd drive it to New Jersey, Philadelphia, we'd go up to Buffalo, New York, and then go back to, so we'd be gone for a week, rent a car, and we would just drive to the different places. It was super fun. We have stories of when it wasn't, but we would always make sure that we tried whatever that city was known for. So
Like a Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia.
right. And so we had fun doing stuff like that, or we'd go on adventures. We'd be like, oh, we have the afternoon off. Let's go and do this weird like escape room before it was called an escape room. Like it was called something else back then.
Like laser.
And we just did so many fun things. We also have horror stories of like, I was also at the time doing everything by myself. Like I had just gotten an agent who would book me at comedy clubs, but I'd never done stuff like that before, other than like I booked myself places before, but he would be like, all right, these places are all close driving distance, you'll just rent a car and go boop, boop, boop. And I would book the rental car, I would book my flights, I would book my own hotels, like I did everything. I didn't have someone to do that for me yet. And so I messed up a few times. And I remember the final time I messed up, it was a really bad mess up.
It ended, we got it though, we did it.
It was crazy. So like, I don't remember, I think we were in Detroit.
We were in Detroit, Michigan.
We were in Detroit, and the next show was in like Buffalo, New York, or something like that.
Albany?
Albany, New York, maybe? I don't remember, but it was not close. But because my agent had booked like Detroit, and then a couple shows in New York, and a couple shows in like Philly, or I don't remember. My shows typically were like, we would drive to them all.
They were all within 2 hours of each other.
And he didn't tell me, he didn't warn me because he didn't think he'd need to. He thought I just knew the geographic locations of these shows and that they are not drivable to each other. But I'm from the West Coast, and the West Coast, like, I'm not gonna speak for all the West Coast. I'm stupid. And I didn't know, and neither did Rachel, that these weren't close. I just assumed, because all of our shows were like, you fly to a place, you drive to all the shows, you fly home. And so
I just get in the car, plug it into the phone and go.
So we get to Detroit and we do the show, and we're like sitting backstage, and like I'm about to do the meet and greet.
No, we were in the hotel in bed.
Oh, that is true.
We were in a red line hotel.
Yes. Okay. So oh my God, it was so bad. So we
did have 2 beds
we were
in that room, though.
Horrible hotel. It was a horrible hotel.
Red something, red line?
I don't know, but it was like one of those hotels that was like very motelly, and like the door opened to like
the parking lot.
The parking lot, which was next to the freeway. So it was like loud, and it reminded me of like the hotel they stay at in that show that everyone loves, Schitt's Creek. Have you seen Schitt's Creek?
Oh, yes.
That's the kind of hotel.
The Rosebud.
Yeah, that's the kind of hotel it reminded me of. So we did the show, we did the meet and greet. Back then we did the meet and greets after the show. So it was like, we do a 4-hour meet and greet. We're in bed, it's like midnight or 1. And I was like, let's look up how long the drive's gonna be tomorrow, thinking it's gonna be like 3 hours. And it was like 12.
And we had to drive through Canada.
Yeah, and luckily we had our passports.
passports.
I don't know how, but we had our passports.
Not a clue.
But we were like,
But
oh my
also,
God.
our GPS didn't work in Canada because our phones didn't work in Canada.
So we had to like write it out. It was such a disaster. So we were in bed and we were like, well, I guess we gotta go. So we get back in the car. We pack up all our stuff. We leave that hotel.
Luckily, we have the mindset at that point, because things weren't as stressful back then, where we weren't furious.
I was mad. I wasn't mad at anyone.
I think I was just like, yeah, you were like, I'm so sorry.
But I'm good in situations where it's like, there is no other option.
We have to do this now.
You have to do this. I'm in those situations, I'm very like, all right, let's do it.
This is it.
We're gonna get it done. Then at first I'm like, no, let's figure out a solution. And then if there's no solution, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna freak. Like, let's just make it happen. So we got in the car, we went to like a 7-Eleven or something, got a million weird snacks, and
we went to Target and got the freeze-dried strawberries.
Kept us awake because they were so sharp. Every time we put them in our mouths, we were like, they like wake us back up. And then it was like 4 a.m. and we were like, we're gonna die. Like, we can't do this.
Luckily I was 21 and could stay awake all night at that point.
I feel like it was Buffalo, New York. I don't remember where we stopped, but maybe that's where we stopped. I don't know. I still don't know the geographic where anything
We stopped at the one above to sleep for 2 hours and then went to the one below
and I
to
was
perform.
like, I messed up so bad. I always stayed at like janky places because they were cheap.
Yeah.
And I didn't have money. And so I was
we didn't care.
No. And so we were just like, all right, I'm going to spend my money. I found like a 5-star hotel. And I just remember that bed feeling like a fancy rich person bed.
Yes.
And like I was like, oh my gosh, Rachel, we're getting our own beds.
Yes.
I'm going to get us a room with 2 beds. And we're both gonna sleep for a couple hours before we hit the road again. So we slept for like 2 hours and then hit the road again because we had to be at the next theater at like
Did
noon.
an entire tech show,
meet and greet, everything. Like it was crazy. So that was a crazy tangent.
I
apologize.
Sorry, that was the very beginning, like.
But that's just a good example of like what we
The
went through
first
together.
year. Yeah, that was the first year of us working together.
And that's and also like we sold all our own merch.
Oh yeah, and before the shows I had to sell all the merch.
Rachel ran everything, like we did everything. And part of working in the comedy clubs and in theaters, quite honestly, is there's a lot of sexism, just to be blunt.
Yes.
And especially a lot of the places we traveled to, for some reason, the men that we came in contact with were really rude. And to be completely frank, I wasn't even convinced it was sexism. I was pretty convinced it was just like, maybe these people are just rude people, until I started traveling with men. And then now, traveling with men now, even like at my shows in the beginning of this year in 2020, I go to theaters and I'll ask for something very nice. You can attest to this. Like I was
the one that
extremely
snapped.
kind.
She would
like,
always be nice.
I'm like, is there any way we could get the projector to work? I need it for my show, and it's in the writer, and you guys told us multiple times that it did work, but it's not working. Is there any way we could work on that? Well, it's broken. Okay, is there any way we could fix that? Like, I'm like really, really, really kind. I try my hardest to be, at least. And
the amount of shows that people have told you to do without the projector is hilarious, because that's half your show.
It's my show.
Yeah.
So anyway, now traveling with men, I travel with Corey and my cousin Andrew. When they ask for things, like immediately, Andrew specifically, it'll get done. And if I ask for things, I'll get eyes rolled at me. People walk away and call me the B word, just for asking for something. And back then we were young. Rachel was 21.
You have stuff in your teeth right here.
Oh no.
Let me see.
I'm gonna rinse.
You got it.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. Just people are sexist. We were really young, and so there's these two young girls coming into their comedy clubs or their small theaters alone with a big suitcase full of weird stuff. And they didn't want us there. They were rude to us, and for the most part, there were some people that were kind, but for the most part, people were extremely rude.
I would end up winning them over.
Yeah, sometimes.
What about if we ever went back?
We'd always win them over after the show.
Yes.
But when we get there for the tech, they'd be rude, they wouldn't help. And I still experience this a lot when tour happens, now it doesn't. And, but by the end, after they see like the audience and like how we interact with the fans and like how much we love our job and then
we put work into it.
Yeah, we worked hard and the fans loved it, and like it was always so fun and such a great energy. After the show, they'd be like, whoa, that was one heck of a show. And then they'd be all nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting to the story. I'm getting to the tea. So I'm not going to say any specific information because I don't want to get in trouble, because I do still work with some of these people.
As time went on, your show got bigger. Your audiences got bigger. We had to hire more people. It got more professional. And that's when I feel like we didn't get to do let's try this thing in every state.
Yeah.
And like the little things we used to do, like share hotel rooms and drive all night or whatever.
That doesn't happen anymore.
It went away.
It's very much like
it's business.
Because they pack so many shows in a small amount of time. And, we try to not make that happen so much. Like I do get to enjoy stuff now, but sometimes, like a lot of time tour is like, people go, what's it like to travel the world and see all these cities? I'm like, you don't see it. You see the hotel room, you see the theater, and you see the bus or the plane that you travel in. That's basically all you see. So you have to make sure the people you're traveling with are wonderful and fun.
So my favorite cities were the ones where we just had an extra day in, because I actually got to see the cities.
Right. So we were on this one tour that was hectic. It was
it was a flight every single day.
Too much. It was the tour was just jam-packed, and there were thousands of people at every single show.
But we had so many people with us too.
Yeah, so
there were too many cooks in the kitchen.
We brought a lot of people with us. We had just people from all the different teams. Like there's my agents and those people, and then there's like the production, and then there's the promoters, and then there's my
it was
team.
a huge leg of a tour.
Yeah.
So everyone felt they needed to send a representation of them.
Yeah. So we did this one tour, and Rachel and I are the ones who know me the best, the show the best, how everything works the best, our fans the best. We know how everything works. And it's frustrating when someone tells us, who's never done it before, how it works. And we're like, thank you, but actually you don't know what you're talking about. And this happens now with Corey and I, because now I travel with Corey, and and the same exact thing happens to us. If someone else shows up and is there to like help and is like, well, actually, I think it won't be that bad. I think this will happen. Or I'll be like, can you turn up the microphones? They get really loud. The audience is really enthusiastic and they scream. No, you're up loud enough. Okay.
So you can't hear her for the first half of the show.
But you need to turn up the mics and the music because they are very loud and they love to scream and it's really fun and energy's
You're supposed
really
to scream.
Yeah. And they'll be like, no, you're loud enough. And then after the show, they'll be like, I had to turn you up. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were on this one trip. I'm gonna try my hardest not to say where we were, what we were doing, but it was hectic. It was so packed with like flights every morning.
Literally every single day we had to go on the
Matinees
airplane.
and evening shows.
But we were with people who wanted us to get to the airport 3 hours before the flight.
And Rachel and I we traveled the same, so it's like we know exactly when we need to be at the airport, how much time we need, how to do it, like
how much our bags
pros.
weigh.
We're very good at that stuff. And this person, one of the people who's traveling with us, wanted us to get there like 3 or 4 hours before, and we're like, that means we're not sleeping. Mm-hmm. Like this is really frustrating.
Because it was still the meet and greets were after the show at this point.
So anyway, long story short, very long story short, because I could go on and on and on. We had a very stressful, no sleep, horrible like situation going on. Like it was really, really rough. And my mom was on that trip with us too.
Yeah, bless her heart.
And that was back before she was comfortable traveling. She has really bad anxiety traveling. So she was, we were trying to take care of our mother and make sure she was comfortable in a new place, traveling every single day on flights every single day, which is like was at the time very difficult for her.
Mm-hmm. It's difficult for anybody.
So this person, one of the people that was traveling with us, the first okay was this person snapped at my mother.
Punched that human in the face.
And Rachel and I both were like, I sobbed from
They made
anger.
my mom's eyes swell up and I was not okay.
My eyes, I was holding it together, and when I got on my seat on the plane, I was sitting next to Mom, I think, or you, I don't remember. I sobbed from anger, which I don't know that I've ever really done.
They were so rude to our mother for no reason.
Because they I feel like, I don't know if they'll ever watch this, so
I don't think you should give too much info away.
Basically,
but my mom
they snapped for not a good reason at my mom, and just kind of snapped come on now, to my mom, basically.
Yeah. There's a baby up there.
Toddler now.
Oh God.
So it was rough from the beginning. We were like, oh no. And you don't disrespect our parents. That's a quick way for you to get the boot. And so this person who I fine and love working with and is great.
I had tiffs with every once in a while.
Yeah. So this person, basically, we were driving home from a show, and I need to really hit this home. Love meeting my fans. I love it. I love it after
to the point where sometimes it would annoy me because I'd be like, I need some sleep.
I need to go to bed. Yeah, I feel like it annoys everyone on the team to a certain extent where they're like, Colleen, we have to go. And I really love meeting everyone. But my big but is I don't think it is appropriate or respectful or kind to go to someone's hotel room or their home. That is your home. Yeah. And you need to have a place where you feel safe. And so breathe. I will talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Restaurants, on the streets, malls, shows, before shows, after shows. I love meeting, hugging, talking to, getting to know fans. But when people stalk me is how it feels.
Yes.
At
it's
at a place where we live or a place where we're staying or whatever, we don't like it. It feels like an invasion of privacy. It feels really uncomfortable because once you hear someone giggling outside your hotel room door, taking pictures of it, you're like, oh, they're listening. They can hear everything.
Trying to poop
There's
in the bathroom.
no place for you to feel. Can they see through the Can I take a shower? Am I safe? Are they going to tell them downstairs? They know me and they're going to let them in my room. It's scary. So basically,
I walked out of a hotel room once on a vacation, and a girl was like, "Are you Rachel Ballinger?" She was waiting at my door, and I said no, and I walked away, and then she tweeted, "I just met Rachel Ballinger, and she said she wasn't Rachel Ballinger." I was like,
well, because the reason we're like this is we've had situations in the past where we have said hi and been excited to meet someone in the lobby or outside our hotel room door, and then they tweet or post somewhere where we are, and then the next day there's a bunch of people there, and then you just are.
There was one time when a hotel noticed all these people gathering in our hall, and the hotel had to put security because they were blocking fire exits. And like we didn't even say anything. The hotel called our room and was like, "What's going on?"
Security on your
because it got out of hand and it wasn't anything we did.
So that's something that like I will always love and appreciate meeting fans. Like I wouldn't be where I am without you guys, but I do think that there's a boundary that I have to set, which is like coming to where someone lives or where they're living or sleeping or staying.
Yeah, and especially now more than ever that you have Flynn.
Yes, well, that's a whole other issue. When I was in New York, it happened, and
You went mama bear.
I was furious, like shaking so bad that when I got to waitress, when I got to do the Broadway show, the cast was like, "Are you okay?" And I was sobbing. I was like, "I'm not okay." Like I was very, very upset. That was the first time someone had invaded my space after I've had a child. It was very bad. Anyway, moving on to the story. So. We were driving home from a show, and something that happens sometimes is people will follow us to see where we're staying so they can do what we just talked about. And so usually when we have a driver after a show, we say, "Hey, make sure no one follows us, please. Like if you can just make sure no one's following us, just keep an eye out for it." So we were driving back to the hotel after the show, and Rachel noticed that there were people following us. And she said to the driver, "Hey, you need to lose these people. I don't want them following us back to the hotel." We were all dead tired, hadn't slept in days. We had a flight at like 4 a.m. the next morning, and it was like 1 a.m. Like we were just so done.
Yeah.
And I think this person that we were traveling with, Rachel's here. Hi. Did they snap at you then?
No. Well, they said there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, that's what it was. So Rachel and I have done this a lot, and Rachel always tells the driver, and they're always really nice about it, and she's just like, "Hey, make sure you can lose the people who are following us." And this person who was traveling with us, who had snapped at my mom, said, "There's nothing they can do about that." And Rachel's like, "Yes, there is. Like, he can lose them. I don't want them coming to our hotel." And he's like, "Well, there's nothing you can do about that." And he's never traveled with us. He'd never experienced this before. And he's like, "They're not following us. No one's following us." Like, he didn't even believe it to be true.
Yeah.
"You want more fries?" So we get to the hotel, and of course, they'd followed us.
Gaggle of people
and so
following
there's
us.
a bunch of people, like maybe a dozen people in the lobby, and I was talking to them. I'm excited to see everyone. Like, you know, I'm taking pictures of them, talking to them, but I'm also near tears exhausted. And we just, you know, we wanted to go upstairs and go to bed and get rest because we had to leave in a few hours for the next flight. And you know, once that happens, then if you have anxiety like myself, like then you can't sleep because you think you're being watched or there's someone right outside your door.
Don't.
Oh, Flynn just spit out.
Don't spit
food.
the food
Don't
out.
spit out your food on the floor. That was not nice. Pick that up and throw it in the trash.
That's trash now.
Pick it up and throw it in the trash.
Good boy.
Good boy, Flynn. Pick it up. Go put it in the trash. Yeah, go put it in the
trash.
trash. So this person, Rachel, I think you went up to him. I don't remember every detail, but Rachel went up to this person and was like, "I told you this would happen. Like, I'm frustrated because I was trying to avoid this. And now we're gonna be here for an hour because she's gonna have to take pictures of all these people, talk to all these people, and now we have to try to get them to leave and not post where we are, and now I have to go talk to them all and tell them not to tell anyone. We have to now go to the front desk of the lobby, tell them not to let anyone know we're here, put an alias, like, because Rachel knows the protocols of it all." And did this person tell you to calm down? This person told you to calm down, I think, or like yelled at you?
Yeah, they yelled at me. There's like, "There's nothing we can do. What did you want us to do?"
Yeah.
And
Rachel looked this person in the face because she'd had enough, because there'd been a lot of like, I mean, the equivalent to mansplaining on this trip with this person on how to do what we had been doing for years alone. And this person was with us for the first time and was mansplaining to us how to do our job. And so then he yelled at her. I was trying to do like they, them, so that we didn't know if it was she or he, but it's too late. It's a he.
it was clearly a man.
And so he snapped at Rachel, and at this point, Rachel had had enough. We'd all had enough. And so
He screamed at me.
he screamed at her in the lobby in front of fans. And Rachel looks at him and goes, "You're an asshole!" Ran up the stair, ran over to the elevator. Then when I got to my room, I got a text from Rachel that said, "I'm done. This is the last tour I'm ever doing with you. I cannot do this ever again." And it was a combination of things. It was like the sexism we experienced on tour was very bad. And we were yelled at a lot by men who thought we were stupid because we were women and we were young. And we would ask for things. Like you have to imagine, like 9 years ago, 2 to very young, early 20s women telling middle-aged men what to do kindly, but saying like, we need this microphone at this level, we need this to play at this moment, we need the VIP line to be set up in this way.
I had
giving
specific
orders.
ways I wanted the lights to happen.
Yeah, so two young 20-something women telling men, mostly in the South and in middle America, no shade to those places, just the places we were going were smaller towns where like that just middle-aged men were not, a lot of the times, not all of them, we're not comfortable with young women kind of telling them what to do, and we're not comfortable with us like being in charge or whatever in their space. And so we were talked down to a lot and ridiculed a lot and yelled at a lot. And so this had been a couple years of that building up for her. And then this person was on tour with us, mansplaining our job to us, how to do everything and how we were doing it wrong. And
there was just so many people, like it's when you started getting like huge, and then so many people came in every time just saying, like it just was.
So it just got to a point, and also touring was hard at that point. It was still fun for me, but it was very difficult, and we were away from home a lot, and Rachel and her YouTube channel started getting popular, and she was like, I think I
wanted to focus on that.
She wanted to focus on her own career and her own thing, which is obviously, I knew that moment would come. So I was sad that she wasn't going to tour with us anymore, but that was the tipping point. And I think we've always just kind of been like, oh, she just like, it was time to do her own thing. But like the truth of it was like, she got in a yelling match with someone on my team.
I want to say like 3 hours later and apologized. He sent a long apology, and I ignored it.
Yeah. And so
it wasn't, he just said, it was like, it was a full on like screaming match. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. And so that's actually what it was. And I knew she was very mad. Like she was very, very mad. But you have to have such like a specific type of thick skin if you tour. Especially if you're a touring YouTuber, because YouTubers have such a bad reputation, unfortunately. And so I walk into a place and the people at the venue find out that I'm a YouTuber, and they immediately don't like me.
Yeah.
And they immediately think I do horrible things and I'm a brat and I'm egotistical and whatever, and think I'm stupid and whatever. And then after the show, typically everyone's really nice and like wonderful and like, thank you so much, that was amazing, that wasn't what I expected, and you were so nice to everyone here, and like everyone's like great.
But it's annoying to have to win over people every single show.
So it just wasn't, and on top of that, you're not sleeping, you're traveling every day, it's very stressful.
There's no time to do anything else but the tour.
So it was time, but that was what made her quit.
But I kept working for you for I think another 6 months. I said, I'll give you till the end of the year, because you had stuff planned. It wasn't, and there was,
I think we'd already had bought flights for other shows.
At that point, I made my position. Yeah. Like what Corey does now, but I was like, it was a little bit different, because at that time I was running tech, like lights, like I was telling all the tech people what to do. Yeah. I was running the laptop and the props.
Well, at that point we were doing it, she and I were doing everything.
Because it was a different type of, it was the same type of show, but it was a different, I don't know, like it's bigger now.
Yeah, and now it's like, Corey does like everything, and Andrew does everything, and it's like, but back then, like we did everything, and so that's I think another like thing that surprised people when we would tour is that because I've been doing this for 11, 12 years, when I started, I was doing it all alone, and I had to learn all the tech, all the microphones, all the lighting, all the cues.
We have a friend, Teeny, who was in tech, and she taught me all the lingo to tell the guys, and there were so many times I'd call her and be like, they asked me this, what does it mean?
But I feel like, tell me. I feel like though, like when we get there, they think, well, these girls don't know anything about anything. And then, but when there are problems, I appreciate that I like have the experience and all that stuff, because when there are issues with the projector or the microphones or the amps or anything, like I do know what's going on and can help, or like if something with the show goes wrong, like I'm not just going to show up and be like, well, if there's a problem, figure it out, and I don't know how anything works. Like, so I like that I have that like experience.
I have a weird skill set that I'll never use again.
Well, no, you might use it in my New Year's Eve show if you
That's
help.
true. I told you I would help with your New Year's Eve. My thing now is, as long as I don't have to travel, I'm fine.
Well, traveling sometimes is still fun though.
Yeah, like I will always want to go with you to either Ireland or Scotland.
Yeah,
those ones have my heart still.
But that's the tea with me and Rachel.
Yeah.
I don't think other than that Like, I was trying to think, like, have we ever had, like, fights? I don't think we really have.
Not since we've like become adults.
Well, yeah, when we were kids, we fought all the time. But not since we've been adults, I don't think.
No,
That was
because
the only,
I think
like-
because of all of those things we had, we learned how to communicate to each other. We've had like stupid tiffs, like.
But I don't even.
When you were pregnant, you rolled your eyes at me once, and I went.
I don't even remember.
I know, and then
I cannot be held responsible.
Andrew
for
was standing next to me. He goes, "Pregnancy. Just always think pregnancy." I was like, "Thank you."
I cannot be held responsible for anything that happened while I was pregnant. I was at my worst state of mind.
But that is how little we have conflict because I remember an eye roll.
I want to remember where that was.
It was out. Oh, I remember it. It's clear as day.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad.
We were at Elks Lodge.
When did I go to the Elks Lodge when I was pregnant?
I think it was 4th of July. You were pregnant during that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was first trimester pregnancy.
Yes.
That's a scary person.
Yes. And I feel like it was Jessica, you and I had just done a mukbang.
Okay.
It was the sister mukbang. And I said something about it. And you rolled your eyes and looked at Jessica and you're like, she stole that, and walked away. And I looked at Jessica and I said,
stole that?
I stole the idea of the mukbang. And I looked at Jessica.
Like as if I invented a
I don't
mukbang?
know. And I looked at Jessica and I said, what was that? And she goes, I genuinely don't know.
Wait, what? I literally do not remember this.
But me, Jessica, and Andrew were all just like, what? And Andrew was just like, pregnancy. I was like, okay.
I do not remember that. I'm so sorry because I can't even imagine a world in which, because the only time I could think of like a mukbang idea being stolen is when I accidentally stole it from you.
Mine.
Because you were gonna do one with Jacob and I was doing one
Duncan,
with
yeah.
Duncan and I was doing one with Flynn.
Yeah.
And you text me and you text us or something and said
Yeah.
you were doing it. And I was like, I'm doing it with Flynn. And mine went up before hers, but hers she had filmed before mine. And then it looks like I had stolen her and I panicked. That's the only stealing of a mukbang I could think of and I was in a panic about it.
Yeah, so it was fine.
I probably didn't even say that.
No, we all heard you.
What? Why did I say that?
I don't know.
I am sorry. I cannot be held responsible.
Okay, I wasn't mad. I was just confused. But
You
Andrew
should be
cleared it
mad
up.
because it's very rude, but I don't remember it, and I was a disaster then.
You
so-
were a disaster.
But I'm not blaming my mental state or my pregnancy on it. I
I'm
take
blaming
responsibility, and I'm saying I'm sorry,
No,
but like,
don't take responsibility.
it wouldn't happen now.
You are a different human being.
I was not happy. But so there you go.
I go to stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
There's been a few times where like I need help.
Yeah.
And so I'll go and help. But it was just like I feel like we were gone 2 to 3 weeks out of each month.
Oh yeah, at least.
It was
I
hard.
toured a lot back then.
Did you
Muffin,
have
what did you
crayons?
find? Did you find some crayons? Oh wow, there's lots of colors in there. Come here, baby. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Oh, you smell them? How is it?
Try.
Yeah, you're
Well,
not
no,
gonna.
no,
No,
you
you're
can't
gonna
have
try
any.
because you spit them out before. Remember, Flynn? You can't have any. You can't have any because you spit them out, and that was a no-no. So you don't get any more. Okay?
Distracted.
Yeah, that's being 2-year-old. So I'm glad you brought me these crayons. Thank you for the crayons. He got these from my brother for his birthday. Oh, thank you. Yes, this is, you always find this even though I hide it every day. This is for my mother. He thinks that this is candy because he remembers Easter. We would put candy inside of Easter eggs and he'd shake it
Yeah, that is Mama's hair.
and he'd hear that and he
Yeah.
knew it was an M&M inside of an egg. This is not an M&M in an egg.
What is it?
This is, I can't tell you because my mom might watch this, but it's a something small in a small box and he shakes it every day and goes, doo-doo, and he wants me to open it. Flynn,
Stay down here, buddy.
come here, baby.
There is
Come
something
upstairs.
in this carpet.
What do you mean something in the carpet?
Ugh.
What? Okay, Princess in the Pea.
I don't know what it was.
What even is that and how did you feel that underneath a thick rug?
It broke down.
What is that?
I don't know, but I found it.
I don't want to know what that is. Oh, Flynn thinks it's hilarious.
See, I'm funny.
Flynn, is that so funny?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What an outro.
We're saying bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out with us as we eat. You did toot on me. I felt that on my shoulder. The bubble popped on my shoulder. You tooted, didn't you? Yeah, you too did. So thanks for watching us eat some vegan food and talk about the drama that has happened in our life. The reason Rachel got fired
I was not fired. Miranda fired me every night, but I quit.
You did get fired every night. You even got fired at the Christmas live show by Miranda, I think. Didn't I fire you at the Christmas?
Yeah, you did.
I
Because
fired
your
her.
water wasn't on the stool?
I don't remember why. Okay, Toots. Do you want me to keep that in?
Yeah.
Rachel loves to do. Flynn, Aunt Rachel just tooted.
You wanna smell it?
Rachel!
It smells like broccoli.
Oh God, okay, we gotta go. I love you guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to Rachel, get my merch if you want it, and get tickets to the New Year's Eve show where there hopefully won't be drama and screaming matches.
No, because it's just me and Corey and we get along great with
Yes,
it's
so
fine.
it'll be great. All right, love you guys, see you next time. Happy holidays.